Hi there, thanks for clicking on the Akron News Now update today. I'm Lindsay McCoy, and boy oh boy, we're getting another round of snow here in the Akron area. We are still under a winter weather warning through most of the day today. That goes for Summit and Portage counties. Heavy snow is expected throughout the day, which is making the roadways tough to travel. We'll take a closer look at what to expect into the weekend in just a bit. But first, in other local news today, as she faces multiple animal cruelty charges, Heather Nagel changes her plea to guilty. Nagel was one of the operators of Heaven Can Wait, an animal rescue facility. More than 100 animals were taken from the Vesper Street shelter back in July, and as you see in these photos, the conditions of the animals were kept in is now in question. Nagel opted for a plea deal to lessen the charges against her and her mother to get her mother off the hook. Still, she may have to serve jail time. Controversy in the Falls. Mayor Don Robart is calling an end to union representation for government workers in Cuyahoga Falls. Robart, in his city address, said that he believes that they should be phased out and the unions are actually costing taxpayers too much money. You can read more about this story in our full coverage on AkronNewsNow.com. And more sightings of black bears are reported in Ohio. 119 were reported in 2008 alone. But have no fear, just 3 were spotted in Summit County. The Ohio Department of Natural Resources Division of Wildlife reports Ashtabula County had the most. That's where young male bears are entering from Pennsylvania looking for new territory. The suspect in the slayings of 11 women whose remains were found in and around a Cleveland home is indicted on attempted murder, kidnapping, and felonious assault charges. Authorities say Anthony So lured women to his home and then attacked them. The remains of 10 women and a skull were found in the residence or buried in the yard. Some of the victims had been missing for more than a year. And a place for nursing students to get some practice at the University of Akron will be dedicated today. I had a chance to stop by and take a quick peek at the new state-of-the-art simulation laboratory and birthing suite. Pretend patients fill the suite and they seem almost real. Professors can now bring their students in and teach them how to interact with patients with hands-on experience of these students. Here presented a new mother with her infant. The mannequins breathe, blink, and they talk too.
Can the girls come home with you?
You know, what's it going to be like the first time I go into a patient's room? Our sophomore students can come into a patient's room for their first time. And while these look like plastic mannequins, when I bring a student in here, and they see the chest rising with breath, they hear voice sounds, they watch the eyes blink, they feel a pulse in one of the arms of these mannequins. They can actually hear a blood pressure, they can hear the lungs and the heart. Suddenly our students, they're in real time. And it's more than a video game. You know, they're exchanging themselves and they're interacting with these mannequins, and frequently they'll say, "I forgot it was just plastic."
Well, despite some technical problems, students at Walsh Jesuit High School were able to discuss the situation in Haiti with the U.S. ambassador. Akron News Now's Ryan Hayden stopped by the school to check it out.
The choppy live video from Haiti eventually cut out, but the audio remained intact as the juniors and seniors from Walsh Jesuit High School sat in the auditorium and prodded Kenneth Merton about the status of the quake-ravaged nation. Merton, who is a 1979 graduate of Walsh Jesuit himself, said that water is still the main concern for the quake victims. He was joined by 5 Haitian students who delivered some of the most compelling and emotional comments throughout the entire web seminar. One of the girls he was with said she was uncertain of her future education since her school had collapsed. That comment really struck senior Walsh Jesuit student Sonia Schnell hard.
To hear that these students who are the same age as me were planning on doing the exact same thing that I'm going to do next year, and that they couldn't go through with any of it. All the tests that they were supposed to take that I've taken, they can't take them anymore. They can't take the next step in their life, which is just completely floored me.
And other students who sat in on the seminar said it was definitely an experience to remember.
Haiti is hurting. They really need our help right now.
In 6 months from now, they still need help. And I feel like going back to Hurricane Katrina, once it was out of the news, people kind of forgot about the efforts that are still needed, and New Orleans was still in devastation. And I think Haiti's the same way.
From Walsh Jesuit, Ryan Hayden, Akron News Now.
Well, as we take a look at our forecast today, we have plenty of snow to talk about. So I hope you're plowing your driveway and you're able to walk out of your house and at least get to your car. As we take a look at the temperatures today, a high of 27 will be in the upper 20s. Into the weekend, it looks like we still have a chance for snow, and that even goes into next week, too. So keep your shovels handy into the weekend. Yeah, we'll get some exercise outside. Continue to follow AkronNewsNow.com for the latest local news. For news online, on demand now. Don't forget, you can also follow our latest news updates on Facebook and Twitter, too. For Akron News Now, I'm Lindsay McCoy.